Hello everyone, I am Dr. Trupti and with this video I am going to start a video lecture series on amino acids chemistry and metabolism. At the end of this video, students shall be able to describe general structure of amino acids, classify amino acids with suitable examples and explain the significance of amino acids. Amino acids are the structural units of proteins. So proteins are nothing but linear polymers of L-alpha amino acids which are linked together by covalent peptide bond. So we need to understand what are amino acids, what are alpha amino acids and what are L-alpha amino acids. This is the general structure of amino acid. Amino acid means it has amino group. And this amino acid is made up of two functional group. In addition to this amino group, there is one more functional group, that is carboxylic group. And both these group, they are attached to the same carbon. And this carbon is alpha carbon because it is attached to four different types of groups to it. Means in addition to this amino group as well as carboxylic group, hydrogen atom and side chain R is also attached to this same carbon atom. And why they are called as alpha amino acid? Because both amino group and carboxylic group, they are attached to same alpha carbon atom, and that's why amino acids are called as alpha amino acids. Now this R chain, it is a side chain, and amino acids differ from each other in their side chains only, which vary in structure, size and charge. The side chains are relatively small, ranging from a single hydrogen to 9 carbons. Now we will understand what is meant by L-alpha amino acids. Amino acids usually exist in the ionic state in the body. This is the structure of amino acid at physiological pH. The amino group is in the protonated state and carboxylic group is in the deprotonated state. This is alpha carbon atom which is attached to four different groups. One is amino group, second carboxylic group, third is hydrogen atom and fourth is R, that is side chain. Now since this alpha carbon is attached to four different groups, this carbon, it acts as a chiral center and exhibit two different spatial configuration which are optically active and mirror images of each other. And they are called as enantiomers and the isomerism is called as optical isomerism. And there are two types of amino acid, L amino acids and D amino acid. The structure of D and L amino acids, they are based on configuration of D and L glyceraldehyde. So for example, in case of L glyceraldehyde, the hydroxyl group is present on the left side. In D glyceride, hydroxyl group is present on the right side. Likewise, in L amino acid, the amino group is present on the left side, and in case of D amino acid, amino group is present on the right side. It is the L amino acids which occur naturally in all biological proteins, and that's why proteins are polymers of L alpha amino acids. But there are two free D amino acids, D-serine and D-aspartic acid, which have been found to be present in the brain tissues. Let's understand the numbering of carbon atoms in amino acid. This is the structure of amino acid lysine, and this amino acid, it has this carbon atom which is alpha carbon atom which is attached to four different groups: amino group, carboxylic group, H and side chain. So this is the alpha carbon. The next carbon is beta, then gamma, delta and epsilon. So this epsilon carbon atom second amino group is attached. So the carbon numbering 1, 2, 3, 4 starts from this carbon of this carboxyl group. So carboxyl group carbon is number 1, alpha carbon is number 2 carbon, beta carbon is 3, gamma carbon is 4th carbon, delta carbon is 5th and epsilon carbon is carbon number 6 in the amino acid lysine. Amino acids are of two types: standard amino acid and non-standard amino acid. So what is meant by standard amino acid? Standard amino acids are 20 in number, because although there are 300 amino acids which occur in nature, all proteins are made up of just 20 amino acids in varying combination. So at the time of protein biosynthesis, only these 20 amino acids are incorporated into a protein, and that's why they are known as standard amino acids. This is because only these 20 amino acids possess the genetic code which specifies the composition and size of a protein. In addition to this 20 amino acids, two more are there. 21 selenocysteine is called as 21st amino acid and pyrrolysine is 22nd amino acid. Now what are non-standard amino acids? So in addition to this standard 20 amino acids which are incorporated during protein synthesis, few other amino acids are also seen in the biological system and they are called as non-standard amino acids. And these non-standard amino acids, though they are not incorporated into structure of protein at the time of protein biosynthesis, but they play several biological important functions in the body, and they include D amino acids, non-protein amino acids, and various amino acid derivatives. We will see this non-standard amino acid in separate video. Amino acids can be classified in 4 different ways. The first classification is based on structure and chemical nature of amino acids. Second classification is based on polarity or solubility. Third classification is based on the metabolic fate of amino acid. And fourth classification is based on nutritional requirement. And first type of classification, which is based on structure and chemical nature, again it is classified in different subgroups like 7 subgroups. The first one is amino acid containing aliphatic side chain. Second, with a side chain containing hydroxylic group. Third one with a side chain containing sulfur, that is sulfur containing amino acid. Fourth one having side chain with acidic group, that is acidic amino acids and their amides. Fifth one is side chain with basic groups which constitute basic amino acids. Sixth one is aromatic amino acid and seventh is amino acids. Based on the polarity, it has two different types of amino acids: hydrophilic, which are polar in nature, which are soluble, and hydrophobic, which are non-polar, which are insoluble. Based on the metabolic fate, they can be glycogenic, ketogenic, or both glycogenic and ketogenic. Based on the nutritional requirement, they can be essential, non-essential, or semi-essential. Now let's start with the first way of classifying amino acid, which is based on structure and chemical nature. And first group of this classification, that is structural classification, is amino acids with aliphatic side chain. There are 5 amino acids in this group, that is glycine, alanine, valine, leucine and isoleucine, which can be remembered as a mnemonic GAVLI, GAVLI. The amino acid glycine is abbreviated as 3-letter symbol GLY and 1-letter symbol G, alanine by ALA and A, valine by VAL and 1-letter symbol V, leucine by LEU and L, and isoleucine by ILE and I. This is the structure of glycine. So see this structure. Is alpha carbon atom present in this structure of amino acid glycine? No, because this carbon atom is not attached to 4 different groups, because side chain only contains hydrogen atom, and that's why this glycine is an amino acid which doesn't have chiral center, so it does not exhibit stereoisomerism, and that's why it is optically inactive. This is the structure of alanine, which has methyl group in the side chain, structure of valine, structure of leucine, and this is the structure of isoleucine. So glycine is the simplest amino acid which is optically inactive as it has no chiral center. Valine, leucine and isoleucine, they have branches in their side chains, and that's why they are called as branch chain amino acids. Second group in structural classification is the amino acids having side chain with hydroxyl, that is OH group, and the examples are serine. In the structure of serine, hydroxyl group is attached here. So this is the hydroxyl group containing amino acid. Second is threonine, which has hydroxyl group in its side chain. Tyrosine can also be included in this classification of amino acid having side chain with hydroxyl group, as the hydroxyl group is present in its structure. So the amino acids which have side chain containing hydroxyl group are serine, threonine and tyrosine. In structural classification, third group is of amino acid having side chain with sulfur atoms, and the examples are cysteine. Cysteine has sulfhydryl group, which is also called as mercapto group in its side chain, and methionine. Methionine has a sulfur atom in its structure, and this is called a thioether group. So these are cysteine and methionine. These are sulfur containing amino acids. This is the structure of cysteine. Cysteine is a condensation product of two molecules of cysteine linked through a disulfide bridge, and this cysteine contributes extensively to higher levels of structural organization of protein. Fourth group amino acids are having side chain with acidic group or their amides, and they are called as acidic amino acids. The examples are aspartic acid. Aspartic acid is denoted by 3 letters symbol ASP and 1 letter symbol D. So in the structure of aspartic acid, the carboxylic group is attached to beta carbon. This is alpha carbon and this is beta carbon. So the second carboxylic group is attached here. It is dicarboxylic monoamino acid. Aspargine is the amide of aspartic acid. Glutamic acid. In the glutamic acid, the second carboxylic group is attached to gamma carbon atom. This is alpha, beta and gamma. So this is gamma carboxylic group containing amino acid. This is a glutamic acid. This is glutamine, which is amide of glutamic acid. So there are 4 examples of amino acids having acidic groups in their structure and their amides. And these aspartic acid and glutamic acid, they are called as dicarboxylic monoamino acid because they contain 2 carboxylic group in their structure and 1 amino group. The fifth group is amino acid with side chain having basic groups in their structure. They are called as basic amino acid. They are dibasic monocarboxylic acid because they have 2 amino group and 1 carboxylic group in their structure, and the examples are arginine. Arginine has guanidino group in its structure. Lysine, it has epsilon amino group because the second amino group is attached to this epsilon carbon. And histidine, the histidine has imidazole group in its structure. So there are 3 basic amino acids: arginine, lysine and histidine. The sixth group is aromatic amino acids, and it contains aromatic ring in its structure which absorb ultraviolet light at 280 nanometer, and the examples are phenylalanine, which is denoted by 1 letter symbol F, and it has benzene or phenyl ring in its structure. Second is tyrosine, which is denoted by 1 letter symbol T, and it has phenol ring in its structure, and as this phenol ring has hydroxyl group, it is also included in the amino acid having hydroxyl group. The third amino acid is tryptophan, which is denoted by W, and in its structure it has indole group. The seventh group is amino acid, and this amino acid contains only one amino acid, that is proline. Because it does not contain amino group, it contains amino group. Second way of classification of amino acid is based on polarity, that is solubility. So they can be polar or non-polar. Polar are hydrophilic, which are water loving, and non-polar are hydrophobic amino acid, which are water hating amino acids. The examples of hydrophilic amino acids, which are polar in nature, they can be negatively charged, they can be positively charged or uncharged. The amino acids which are negatively charged and polar in nature, they are acidic amino acid. Aspartic acid and glutamic acid, these are negatively charged polar amino acids. Lysine, arginine, histidine, these are basic amino acids which are positively charged and polar in nature. The uncharged amino acids are also polar, which are serine, threonine, tyrosine, aspargine, glutamine, cysteine and glycine. The hydrophobic amino acids are aliphatic in nature and examples are alanine, valine, leucine and isoleucine. The aromatic amino acid phenylalanine and tryptophan, they are non-polar in nature, and proline and methionine, they are also hydrophobic. Third type of classification is based on metabolic fate, means the carbon skeleton of some amino acid is involved in the synthesis of glucose, in the synthesis of lipids. So based on their metabolic fate, they are further classified as both glucogenic and ketogenic. So carbon skeleton of these four amino acids is involved in the synthesis of both glucose and lipids. And the examples are phenylalanine, isoleucine, tryptophan and tyrosine, PIT, P-I-T-T. So there are four amino acids which are both glucogenic and ketogenic. There are two amino acids which are said to be ketogenic. They are involved in the synthesis of lipids. Their carbon skeleton is involved in the synthesis of lipid. Out of these two, leucine is considered as exclusively ketogenic. Some authors consider lysine also as ketogenic, but the exclusively ketogenic amino acid is leucine. The rest 14 amino acids, they are glucogenic. For example, alanine, aspartate, glycine and methionine. So you have to remember four amino acids which are both glucogenic and ketogenic, that is PIT, phenylalanine, isoleucine, tyrosine and tryptophan. Leucine is exclusively ketogenic and rest others you can put into the group of glucogenic. Fourth way of classification is based on nutritional requirement. And as per the nutritional requirement, there are 10 essential amino acids. These essential amino acids cannot be synthesized by the body and hence they need to be supplied through diet. So there are 10 amino acids which are essential and which can be remembered as mnemonic private team Hall, which stands for phenylalanine, valine and tryptophan for private, team threonine, isoleucine and methionine, Hall, histidine, arginine, leucine and lysine. So you need to remember these 10 essential amino acids. In Viva, most of the time examiner asks this question, name 10 essential amino acids, and it can also come in theory exam as well. There are two semi-essential amino acids. These are histidine and arginine, and they are not synthesized during infancy but can be partly made by adult body and hence they are referred as semi-essential amino acids. Arginine and histidine synthesized in the body are sufficient for normal adults but they become inadequate during the growing years, that is in case of infants and children, pregnancy and lactation, and this is the reason they are considered to be semi-essential or conditionally essential. And rest others are non-essential which are synthesized in the body and the examples are glycine, alanine, serine, cysteine, aspartate, asparagine, glutamate, glutamine, tyrosine and proline. Selenocysteine is the 21st amino acid which is denoted by 3-letter symbol SEC and 1-letter symbol U. The structure of selenocysteine and cysteine is similar, only difference is that in cysteine sulfur is present and in the selenocysteine selenium is present. This selenocysteine is encoded by code UGA and it is integral component of various enzymes like glutathione peroxidase, deiodinase, glycine reductase and thioredoxine reductase. Pyrrolysine is 22nd amino acid. It is coded by a stop codon UAG. It is similar to lysine but with an added pyrroline ring linked to end of lysine side chain. And this pyrrolysine, this amino acid is the constituent of methyl transferase enzyme from a methane producing bacteria. What is the significance of amino acids? Amino acids are involved in the synthesis of various biologically important compounds. For example, tyrosine is an amino acid which is involved in the synthesis of hormone thyroxine, melanin, epinephrine, norepinephrine and dopa. Glutamic acid is involved in the synthesis of neurotransmitter GABA. Tryptophan is involved in the synthesis of niacin and serotonin. Glycine, arginine, methionine. It is involved in the synthesis of creatine, GAM, GAM for creatine. Glycine and cysteine involved in the synthesis of bile salts. Glycine is involved in the synthesis of heme. Glutamic and aspartic acid are required for pyrimidine based synthesis. Various purine bases are also synthesized from glycine, glutamic acid and aspartic acid. Coenzyme A is synthesized from beta alanine and histamine is synthesized from histidine. Various disorders are associated with amino acid metabolism, which we are going to study in videos on amino acid metabolism. So the disorders like phenylketonuria, tyrosinemia, albinism, alkaptonuria, homocystinuria, pheochromocytoma, carcinoid syndrome and Hartnup disease. These are some of the disorders related to amino acid metabolism. Let's summarize the topic amino acids. Amino acid topic is very important for short answer question as well as viva. Amino acid has amino group in its structure. Both amino group and carboxylic group is attached to the alpha carbon, and that's why amino acids are alpha amino acid. As amino group is present on the left side, it is called as L-alpha amino acid, and in human proteins are made up of L-alpha amino acids. Now these amino acids are classified in four ways based on the structure and chemical nature. They are classified as aliphatic amino acid like glycine, alanine, valine, leucine and isoleucine, Gowli. Hydroxyl group containing amino acid serine, threonine. Sulfur containing amino acid cysteine, methionine. Acidic amino acid and their amides like aspartic acid, asparagine, glutamic acid, glutamine. Histidine, arginine and lysine, these are basic amino acid. Phenylalanine, tyrosine, tryptophan, they are aromatic amino acid, and proline is amino acid. Based on the polarity, that is solubility in water, they are polar and non-polar. Mostly acidic basic amino acid, they are polar in nature. Aliphatic and aromatic amino acid, they are non-polar in nature. Based on the metabolic fate, where the carbon skeleton of this amino acid is involved in the synthesis of glucose or lipid, based on that they are again classified as glucogenic, ketogenic if they are involved in the synthesis of only lipids, and both means they are involved in the synthesis of both glucose as well as lipid. So there are four amino acids: phenylalanine, isoleucine, tyrosine and tryptophan. These amino acids are both glucogenic and ketogenic. Leucine is exclusively ketogenic and rest other are glucogenic. Fourth way of classification is nutritional classification, and there are three ways of classifying amino acid based on the requirement. Essential amino acids are not synthesized in the body, they have to be provided in the diet. Non-essential are synthesized. Semi-essential are conditionally essential, and essential amino acids are 10 in number and they can be remembered by mnemonic private team hall. Phenylalanine, valine, tryptophan, threonine, isoleucine, methionine, histidine, arginine, leucine and lysine. Histidine and arginine are also semi-essential amino acids. If you find this video useful, please subscribe, like and share, and thank you for watching.